Hey my people, hello. This is the promise video with my new model. Her name is Charlotte. She has featured in a couple of videos before this. And as you can see, I am preparing her face for makeup. If you want to rewind that and see what I use, that is a new product. I'm going to be doing a review on it soon. It's a collagen elastin product, and I'm using that to prepare her face for makeup along with BB cream. And we're doing a full-on, very sexy, daytime appropriate, because she's very, very pale skinned, eyeshadow look. And I would definitely go out, and I um, recommended that she go out with this very romantic and very sexy. This is for your boyfriend on a night out or your date type of makeup. And so I'm using the BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, and you saw that I prepared her lids with some primer, and that's the Wet n Wild one I'm always using. And I went in with a very, very nice bright shade on the eyebrow bone. It's it's kind of shimmery, and it's kind of iridescent, and I wouldn't say white, but definitely a creamy shade. And then with a caramel shade, I am working on her higher socket um, area right above her crease, to start creating a little bit of shape and definition. And then with a clean, fluffy brush, I am blending that out. Each time I apply, I will go back with a clean brush and blend it out. And that's darker brown from the same palette. This palette, that does not have color names, so which I prefer, because I like to call out the colors as I see them. All of these names for these colors and these high-end palettes, they don't make any sense to me, because nobody would understand what some Paradise Forever blue means unless the word blue is in the phrase. So this is a darker brown, I'd say a coffee brown, that I just applied under the caramel. And then I'm going in with a reddish, maroonish, and pinkish color um, in the lower socket. Right now I took a peachy, orangey shade on the lid, all over the lid. And it's a beautiful shade. This palette I would highly, highly recommend. It's mostly matte, which is what I prefer. I have hooded eyes. Charlotte does not so much, but she has small lid space. So matte, for me, in these circumstances, works the best. And here is the maroonish. It's like a red maroonish, and I'm gonna mix it with the pink right on top, and it creates a very pretty reddish pinky shade. And that's gonna go in her lower socket area, right above her crease. And I'm gonna work that in there, as you can see, with a smaller, dense type of brush. And this is the brushes that I'm using, pretty much all of them, except for the fluffy clean one, are from the Echo Tools, collection that I have. And I find that those brushes work great. You can afford them with no problems, and they're great quality. I don't see any reason to go buy, these brushes that are very high-end and very expensive. Um, they all work the same. There really isn't any difference. The Real Techniques brushes are not any different than these, not in my experience. So I am taking again the fluffy brush and going back in, and I'm sandwiching the colors, because that gives it longer staying power, and also better, how do you want to say, better visibility. The colors pop better when you sandwich them on top of each other and layer them, and then go back in and just blend, so that you can get that nice gradient and clear out any harsh edges in your makeup. So that's the eyeshadow, and I'm going to do that on the bottom. I'm just cleaning the side. There's any fallout that's there, and I'm going to create a very clean cut on the side by doing that. And I just use a little bit of face primer to do that. Either that, or you can use Scotch tape. Works the same. I'm going back in now, and I'm going to do some definition work. I forgot. I was about to go under the eye, and I had forgotten I needed to get a little bit of definition work at the end of the eye. which I do with some very like royal blue or shocking blue colors, and then a black, and all on top of each other inside of one another, and blend them together, starting with that blue, and that comes on that little elf quad, a little tiny elf palette, sorry, and that goes on the end of the eye. I wouldn't even know the name of this. It's they're on the back, but this is just one of the 3 colors, and I'm using the blue. By the way, those are the ones I'm always bragging about. They're like $2, and you can get them at Walmart. And then going in with that blue, and I would say that's like a royal blue, right on top of the elf blue, which is to me like a midnight blue. More appropriate for nighttime makeup, really, but I find that using all of these blues together, I was able to get more intensity and get some definition work on the ends of her eye. And this is going inside the pink, so which I thought looked really, really cool and gave it almost like a 3D effect. And then right inside that blue, I'm going to work in a little bit of black in a second. But you can see that I'm sandwiching all of those blues. And I think there was about 3 blues involved in this. And I just went and took them, applied them, took the fluffy brush, blended them, applied them again about 3 or 4 times. And you'll want to do that if you want your makeup to stay and you want it to look as intense as possible and actually blended. Whatever you hear in the background, guys, as long as you can hear me, please ignore it. I have people here, I'm not alone. So there I am blending that out again, and then I believe this will be the last color, and that's going to be the black. I did go over with some more of that peachy orangey shade because I felt that it faded out a little bit on her lids. And that's a beautiful peachy shade, by the way, and I think these colors went beautifully together. And this is very much daytime appropriate for pale, very fair skin tones. So this would be almost the equivalent to the video that I have of the red eyeshadow, but on a much paler skin type. And you can see that I'm mixing that with other colors so that it doesn't look too red around the eyes. And you can refer to that video. I will be redoing that video anyways, so if you don't want to and wait for me to redo it, you can do that as well. And I'm going under the eye with the maroonish reddish color, and that's all like 3/4 under the eye, and then the royal blue on just the last quarter under the eye. And again, that's an Echo Tools brush, and it's a smaller brush. You get into smaller areas, and I do blending with another appropriate smaller clean brush. My husband was offering her some flan. So again, go back in, blend, reapply, blend, reapply, about 3 or 4 times. Which is why my videos come out to be just a little bit long, because there's a lot that goes into the eye makeup. I like it to be detailed, I like it to be precise, and I like it to last. And so between the blending, the color selections, and the continuation of reapplying and going back and forth and applying and sandwiching all these colors, to me the eyes take the longest, which is why you're only going to see one eye in this video. I believe I'm about to move into brows here, and I'm using the pomade. That's a light brown, ashy light brown, and her brows just really needed filling in. I wasn't looking to reshape them. I elongated them slightly. I shaped the front just a little tiny bit and just intensified them a little bit using the gel, and then I went back in with the NYX eyebrow powder palette that I have and just went over that with an ashy color. She is a blonde, so you don't want to be doing really intensely dark brows on a blonde pale person. And this is the eyeliner. I'm working that into her top lashes. That's the Rimmel. I think it's Exaggerate. Um, I'll have to, if I'm not right about that, put that in the description box, but I'm pretty sure it's the Exaggerate. It's waterproof, and the other end has a little smudgy, which I do use, but not to smoke it out, just to even it out. And so I'll always apply my eyeliners and go back, and after I'm, shaping, putting in the shape I want, I'll go back in and even it out so that, again, same with the eyeliner applies as with the eyeshadow, there will not be any harsh edges. And I'm going over that with gel, and I believe that the one I'm using is the Wet n Wild. It's the one I've been using as of late. It's the little black dress. And with a paintbrush, the ones I've been talking about lately, I perfected like a flick on the top of her eye. It's a full line, and then with a small flick. I didn't want anything really harsh. It's a soft daytime makeup. You don't want a huge cat eye and a whole bunch of eyeliner on. For daytime makeup, it's a little much. Now, if you're doing nighttime makeup, then that would be appropriate in that case. And of course, what I would probably do if this was my makeup on this way and I was going out at night, I just intensify it pretty much. And you can definitely do that and turn it into nighttime makeup. So I'm going back in with a small blending brush. It's a clean eyeliner brush, and I'm blending out all of her gel to make sure that there's no harsh edges. And then now we're getting into some of the face makeup. Now I'm doing a little bit of cleaning up with this primer. That's the e.l.f. primer. It's what I'm actually going to use before I start applying her face makeup, which is going to be all Bare Minerals. Their liquid foundation, their Bare Natural, is what I will be using on her. And I find that that works on a lot of skin tones, from fair to medium, and anywhere in between. You can get away with using this standard shade. It's the one that when you get to the store they recommend for most people because it does anywhere from fair to medium match. So I am priming here, and then I do believe I'm gonna do her lashes, and then I'm gonna get into her foundation. We're talking here, that's why I'm silent. Yes, here is the Mega Impact, and that's by, if I'm not mistaken, Rimmel. And I'm curling her lashes. And I'm only applying the mascara because I'm going to be putting the falsies on her, the J-Lash. The same pair I wore, I believe, in my last makeup video, and I highly recommend those. At first I had a very hard time with them, but with the new tools I have for my falsies, like a dream. So those are them. They're reusable. You can use them again and again. And I think this is the third time I use these. And with those tools right there, I don't even know what those things are called, but they're very, very long. They look like humongous. I was going to say Q-tips, not Q-tips, tweezers. And then I'm going in. I did those lashes. That's why you see it went by so fast. Off camera. I'm coming in with her face makeup, and that is again the Bare Natural. That is the shade name. That's by Bare Minerals. Their only liquid foundation. And the brush is an e.l.f. Makeup brush. Foundation brush. And I'm setting that with the Bare Minerals Powder Foundation, just one layer. And that is the medium shade. And I find that it works best that way. Sorry guys, I'm watching Shark Week while you guys are watching this. And this is the Stroke of Light Concealer, also Bare Minerals. And I believe the shade is Fair, Fair Light. And I'm going to work that in with a beauty blender, a wedge. And yes, it is damp. That is the best way to get your makeup to stay looking dewy and fresh. Pretty much just working it right under the eye area, and it works also as a highlight because it is just, I think, one shade lighter than her actual skin tone, especially with the foundation on. This here is a brown creamy stick I like to use for contouring, and I felt that she could use, bringing out her cheekbones, and that is what I used to do that. And that's by e.l.f. And that's the bamboo flat kabuki brush that I used to work that into her skin. And this is a soft powder face brush, also by e.l.f. And I'm using that to use that's the bronzer that I use probably just about every makeup video. That's by e.l.f. And I believe that's I'll have to put that in the description box, but I have it in just about every video. And then this is the one by Wet n Wild, the Fergie line, and I went right over the other one with that one. And this here is a e.l.f. It's an eyeshadow, and I like to use it over the bronzers to bring out the dewiness of the bronzer. It gives it like a satiny look, and that was like a beigey shade. And then this is the Hard Candy, that pink blush that I favor so much. And it was perfect for this look, and just with a very light hand on the apples of her cheeks. And then I am taking an e.l.f. highlighter, and I am working that on top of the blush and the bronzers to bring out the high points of her cheeks. And that's a pinkish shade. It's like pearls. And then to the lips, I'm using a Rimmel purplish shade, and I love that lipstick so very much. It goes with so many makeup looks. I am going to be lining her lips. This is a pencil I've had forever. I think it's Maybelline, and it's like a taupey, almost pinky shade. And then the purple lipstick, and then I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild lipstick just on the Cupid's bow and the bottom middle part of her lip. And that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.